Welcome everybody. Today we're discussing about crypto. Let's get into it. Pretty cold day. Another 36 degrees in Chicago. Great. Welcome everybody, my name is Michael, and today we're discussing about some bullish sentiment. We are above $47,000 for the first time in a pretty long time in the cryptocurrency world. We're going to be taking a look at both the price and the crypto fear and greed index. So if we go to the Bitcoin fear and greed index, we are above a 60, which yesterday we were at 49, which is neutral. We are officially in greed territory, and last week we were at a 30, last month at a 26, which was very fearful. Not too long ago, just a couple videos ago, when I was discussing about the fear and greed index, we were still in a fearful spot, although doing better. So now, why are we finally greedy? Well, if we take a look at the history, it's been 19 weeks or 133 days or 4.5 months since we were this bullish, since we hit a 60. The last time we had a 60 was on November 16th, 2021. And right now, Bitcoin, again, is over $47,000. The total market caps are over 2.1 trillion for 18,500 coins. The 24-hour volume has risen almost 100 billion. And then the fully diluted market cap for Bitcoin, almost $1 billion, with the actual market cap almost 900 billion, not 1 billion, but 1 trillion for Bitcoin. So what happened? Well, a couple days ago, we were above essentially $45,000, and people were very happy. We rose drastically from $44,800 to suddenly $46,000 on the 27th. We are right now approaching into the 28th, and since this morning we've risen drastically around $1,000 or so. So pretty good stuff. And over the past 7 days, literally 7 days ago, we were at 41,000. Then on the 22nd, we hit a high of 42,300. Then on the 24th, 44,000, a steady increase. Now, there was a lot of bearish sentiment last month because people had no idea where we were supposed to go. At the very beginning of this year, we entered and things seemed all right, but it was still a very weird year last year where Bitcoin did have a pretty phenomenal rise, but it wasn't as good as many other Bitcoin bull runs. Really, it was the year of the alts. There was a ton of NFTs, there was a ton of DeFi, there was a ton of action for altcoins, but Bitcoin, although its rise was great for a lot of newcomers, for people who saw this back in 2017, 2018, it should have easily hit above $100,000, but it didn't. So there's still a lot of people who, I mean, maybe aren't resentful, but they want to get to that place. And right now, they're looking for any bit of action. Since over the past couple months, we've been pretty fearful. We've been in a lot of FUD territory. People also were freaking out because every single time we'd approach $45,000, there was a fair amount of resistance. We've actually tried hitting that this year, $44,500 resistance, and we couldn't break through 3 separate times. We kept on falling back, and we would even fall into the $30,000 range, 39, 38, 37,000. So people were pretty scared, to be quite honest. We haven't seen those numbers in a while. Now, there's no exact science to technical analysis, but with institutional investors, with essentially what could be potential Russian-Ukraine peace talks, we don't know what's going to happen with that, but that was part of the reason last month there was a lot of FUD. People are now believing that as we go forward with EU regulation, and U.S. legislators also coming on board with certain things, there could be a pretty good year. So we essentially moved into an era of crypto adoption, mass adoption right now, blockchain going into the mainstream. While Bitcoin may still be down quite a bit from all-time highs, it's weathered 2022 pretty well, especially when you compare it to the S&P 500 and a lot of other investment assets. There's not been as much volatility as it has seen. And even though the fact that it still hasn't hit $100,000, nowhere close, it still hasn't been doing as well as many would have hoped for it. The stability is the number one thing that's the most important for a long-term investment spectrum. If someone, for example, the elderly, is looking to invest into something that is going to be stable, they're going to take a look at not what's been happening over the past week or month, but what's happening on a 5-10 year spectrum, the scale. And the longer we're stable, the longer we go up a little bit slightly, the more people who aren't in right now who will want to get in. Also, in addition to that, over $100 million worth of shorts on Ethereum and Bitcoin were almost absolutely liquidated in 5 minutes flat. So Bitcoin finally broke out of $45,000. Ethereum climbed past $3,300. And, well, a lot of people absolutely got destroyed with liquidations. In addition to that, the U.S. Fed has promised to lower their monthly purchases of stocks and bonds, and they've started increasing interest rates back from its long 0% during the pandemic. So pretty bullish news. Another thing that a lot of the elderly and pretty much everyone's noticed is inflation is at an all-time high. So if this is going to be an asset that breaks out of inflation and is actually able to replace, if there's going to be digital dollars and digital fiat currencies in the future, this might be the kicker. This decade, depending on how many events go wrong, people are starting to open their eyes and they're starting to invest in crypto. So the next step is staying above $45,000 for the next couple of days. We're still in pretty risky territory, but if we are able to stay above for, let's say, the next week, we have a good chance of hitting 50,000 and above. The sky's the limit.